This and we're going to our Mother's Day luncheon. Okay. Puta mo yung gabi, may hotdog. Okay, see you at church. What's up? Baliktad. Asa mo ni pagbaliktad tayo po? Hey guys, niabot na mi dire. We're gonna celebrate Mother's Day. Mother's Day luncheon. Nice ate oh. Pati si tita. Mapa-picture oh. We're gonna register here. Magpa-register. I'm not sure where. How did you get more? You begged her for more? No, I didn't. Sister Sherry, we miss you.
So, I will let you know as soon as the food is ready to serve and we'll get started. Thanks, ladies.
There's the spirit of joy in here. Star Trek na. Nahilom. Pamandihan ka itong mga kagupa. Is that a video or pictures?
Well, memories, you know. That's good memories, you know, when you look.
Hey guys, we're getting ready to listen to the Word of God and make our plans. The title of the theme is Bloom, where you are planted. Okay, write that one. See? There you go.
Marking up our backs.
No, we actually.
I roll.
Okay, ladies, if you are out in the lobby and you can hear me, we're going to start doing giveaways. We all have prizes. So I'm going to give it like a minute. I know some people are using the restroom.
Go over there with them.
For a few more to trickle in, and then we're going to get started. So go ahead and get your tickets out. And we made it way easier this year, so you know. After we're done with the giveaways, I'm going to share a video that will show you what all the proceeds of this event are going to. It's going towards a ministry called Project Hope, which is a ministry that the SoCal women in, are you showing it now? In the world, or how can we give to ministries that are out in the world, and Project Hope is one of those. So, I will get to that later, but if I can have my helpers come up. We're gonna start, we'll just start here. Okay, so, the first giveaway here, I'll just come like down here, because I feel like I'm really high. First giveaway is for a $20 gift card to Paparazzi, donated by Sarah Lanier. This is her independent consultant business that she has, and they have really cute jewelry. And I forgot to put mine on today, but I was gonna put them on. They're in my purse somewhere. And the winner is 0394037. We have a winner. Woo-hoo! Elena! Awesome! All right, this one is very near and dear to my heart. This is Emily Lay's book, Grace Not Perfection, and the journal, The Standard of Grace. So good, and my friends want it, I know they do. If you ever want to simplify your life, read Emily Lay. The winner is 0394039.
Oh, God give her the desire of her heart.
And Casey, this is from the women's board.
Oh.
Well done, Casey, because she did all the planning and everything. She was running around like crazy for the last 3 days. So everybody give her a hand.
I also want to thank my women's board. So here are my women's board. Can you stand up? Because there was no way that I could have done this by myself. Not here, but they were being my worker bees this week. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. If you don't know me, I'm Casey Latu. I'm the pastor's wife here at Bethel Christian Center. My husband, Jose, is the pastor. We've been here for about 6 months, a little bit over 6 months. So we're pretty new. So if you're new, we're in this together. And while I share my heart. So today, I'm just going to share a little bit about what it means to bloom in the season that you're in. As women, we go through seasons. I'm in a different season than other women here. I'm in the season in my life of crazy children on my leg, trying to cook dinner, get things done. It's not possible. And I know it's just a season of my life. I know in 10 years I'm going to miss having Everly on my leg while I'm trying to get things done. But for now, that's the season that I'm in. And some of you may be in a season of winter. You may be in a season of darkness. You may be in a season of spring and of blossoming. And if you're in a season of winter, I want to encourage you that sometimes we're not buried, we've just been planted. And God's got to plant you in that season of winter or darkness for something to grow. So today there's 3 ways that I want to share with you on how you can bloom where you're at. First of all, let me flip over. It's by what we fill ourselves with. I had this, when I was preparing this message, God gave me this vision of a flower blossoming, but all the work that goes into having a garden or making something grow. And it's kind of ironic because I do kill things. Like literally, I can't grow things. And I felt like God was speaking to me, like, you have to allow things to grow. There's certain things that you have to do for things to grow. And one of those things is what we fill ourselves with. And so, as women, I think we are really, really good at taking care of other people and our families and our husbands or people in our lives, but it's really hard for us to take care of ourselves or fill ourselves. And I felt like God was speaking to me that we have to be really intentional about the work that goes into it. I think sometimes as Christian women, especially Christian women who've been saved for a while, we lose that like reverence and that like fervorous love for the Lord and spending time with Him and digging into His Word and you know, I was going to bring I forgot, but I was going to bring my Bible from when I got saved. I got saved when I was 15. And my Bible is literally duct taped together because that's how much I was just in it, like highlighting and underlining. And I think as we go through life, we forget that we had that experience with the Lord, and it becomes work. And I felt that the Lord was telling me, like, yes, it's work, but it needs to happen. Sometimes reading our Word and sometimes spending time with the Lord or getting away and resting in His presence, that's work, especially as a busy mom or busy women. But it's work that we need to put in. It's the work. It's like, for instance, when you're sick and you want to take medicine, or you have to take medicine. You don't like to take medicine. Who likes to take medicine? Like, nobody likes to take medicine, but it's going to help you. And it's sometimes I think so often we think that reading our Word or diving into Scripture has to be this like miraculous thing where like the sun opens up and the Lord beams down on you and He speaks directly to your heart and great things happen. And that's not how it always works. We have to put in the toil. We have to put in the work to produce something good. And good things aren't always easy. Usually they're not easy. Usually good things are a lot of work. I always tell people that, when you're married, your marriage is a lot of work. It's almost like correlating being married for a while to having a relationship with the Lord. When you're first married, you have this honeymoon, grandiose, lovey-dovey, and then a couple years go by and he leaves his dirty socks everywhere and leaves the bathroom door open when he's going to the bathroom. I'm sorry, babe. And and it's not this oh, the sun is shining down and sunshine and rainbows. It's work and love and dedication. It's not always easy, but it's good, and that's what the Lord has for us. In the same way, our relationship with the Lord is going to be work. It's going to be a choice. It's going to be daily, every day. How can I grow closer to the Lord? How can I put in the work that the Lord has for me? And so the second thing I want to share, let me backtrack. There's one more thing. I saw this study of these third graders who had 2 plants, and they put them in the same conditions, the same temperature, same sunlight, same amount of water. The only difference in the experiment, the only thing that changed was the kids spoke loving words to one plant, and they spoke negative, hurtful words to another plant. I'm not kidding you. Look this up. This is crazy. And the plant where I was telling my kids this story. They said, I love you, plant. You're awesome. You're going to do great things. You're important. And they spoke those things over that plant. And do you want to know what happened? The plant where the kids spoke the positive, reassuring, great things, that plant grew and it blossomed. And the plant that they spoke negative things to, and they were saying, you're ugly, you're stupid, it wilted and it withered, and it was still alive, but it definitely was not flourishing like the plant that they had spoken good words over. And so that just really spoke to me. What affirmations do we need to speak over our life? And what things that the Lord is trying to speak to us do we need to speak to ourselves? Do we have negative self-talk or do we have positive self-talk? And the Bible says, that you are a temple and that He delights in you and He cherishes you. And those are the types of things that you need to speak over yourself instead of the negative things, instead of the self-deprecating things. The second thing I want to share with you is that sometimes when you bloom, you need to prune. If anybody is a gardener, they know that when for a plant to really flourish and do well, you need to prune it, you need to deadhead it, you need to cut things back. And so I encourage you to evaluate in your life what things you need to let go of. What things what strongholds in your life do you need to let go of? It could be relationships. It could be unforgiveness. It could be sin. It's not necessarily something physical, but it can be. What idols do you have in your life? Is it sugar? Is it staying up too late? It's just all these things. What things in your life do you need to cut out? What things is the Lord trying to show you that you need to prune back so that you can blossom? Because God has a purpose for you and He has a plan for you. The Bible says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you're made in His image. And He has that over you. But sometimes we lose focus of that and we get distracted. And you know what? There are really great things that you should be saying no to. As a mom of young kids, I can't say yes to everything because my yeses are then also no's to something that could be more important. And so it could be having to say no to something. It could be saying no to serving on that church committee for this season because you're in a certain season. Not saying that you should. Come and talk to me if that's what you need. But there are really good things that you might be needing to say no to because the Lord is trying to do a work in you. And then third, we need to allow ourselves space to grow. When we're gardening, if we plant plants right next to each other, what's going to happen? They're not going to grow. You need to allow them to have space to blossom. And so I encourage you that, life isn't easy and we might have to do some pruning. We might have to do some deadheading. We might be in a season of winter, but that's going to allow growth. Growth happens through trial and error. It doesn't happen overnight. Growth takes time. Be soft on yourself. You know, don't be too hard on yourself. You know, we all make mistakes. Life's a journey. It's not a destination. It's, you know, we make mistakes, we mess up, and it's saying, okay, Lord, like, I'm sorry I messed up. But fashion yourself in a way where you're leaning on the Lord to hear what he has for you. And that's going to help you to grow. Be vulnerable with people. I know that's really hard for me because I'm an introvert. And so, you know, for me, letting people in, one, I've been hurt by people, people that I've trusted. Two, I'm an introvert. And three, it's scary. Like, okay, let me backtrack. Vulnerability does not mean I'm going to go post all of my problems on Facebook and wait for somebody to comment. I said it. Vulnerability means meeting with a close girlfriend and saying, you know what, I'm really struggling with this. Can you help me? You know, can you keep me accountable? Can you help me with this area? Can you pray with me over this? That's being vulnerable. And you have to be careful who you're vulnerable with. It has to be somebody that you trust, that you know wants what's best for you. But growth happens when we're vulnerable. I mean, I bring it back to a marriage. If we're not honest and open with our spouses or our friends or the people around us, we're not going to grow in those relationships. And it's the same with the Lord. He knows. He already knows that you swore at that car next to you this morning when you were driving here because they cut you off. Like, he saw it. Like, you're not hiding anything from him. And so for us to be vulnerable with the Lord, but then also vulnerable with our relationships, that's how we're going to grow. And I'm just going to share my heart a little bit. My heart for this ministry, this women's ministry at Bethel, is for us to create and foster relationships that foster growth, that create growth, that we are vulnerable with each other, that we're building each other up, that we're meeting together, that we're sharing our hearts, but then we're growing. It's not just because, you know, I want to get together and vent about my husband. No, like, let's be intentional about the relationships that we have, or the things that we're talking about, and how can we build each other up. You know, the Bible says that we are to build each other up and to edify each other and not tear each other down. And our words have power. And so what things are we speaking over our lives and over our relationships? And again, growth doesn't happen overnight. It's not this, you know, oh, I'm just a super Christian now. No, like, and God is not calling us to be better Christians. He's calling us to be better followers of him.
Amen.
And we can sit in these church pews all, you know, every Sunday, but if we're not allowing God to foster growth in our lives, then we're just sitting here.
Right.
You know, we have to take that, and we have to water it, and we have to prune it, and we have to tend to it, and we have to rest in his presence. So as I close, the three things. The things we fill ourselves with, the pruning, or the deadheading, letting go of things, and allowing ourselves space to grow. And what things that the Lord has for us as women, individually, and also as women with our relationships. And so I'm going to pray, we're going to close, and I just thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, put the bell, ring the bell notification. We love you. Bye. Bye.